Today, I'd like to talk about an important subject: how the news controls your mind, how the media controls your behavior. And this is not as sinister as it sounds. It's something that you've probably experienced in your day to day life, probably even just this week. Think back to any time that you have been reading social media, scrolling news feeds, and you've seen an article that made you feel, or even just a comment that made you feel scared or anxious or negative or any kind of emotion that's not pleasant. Now, keep in mind, studies have shown that as of 2024, I believe, or was it 2025? Can't remember the exact date, but one of those two, more than 50% of comments and users on the internet, in fact, are actually bots. So more than half of everything that you read is not a human, it's actually just some kind of propaganda or bot. So keep that in mind. Now, as we're reading the news, reading social media, we see something that feels negative. The impulse there is, well, this doesn't feel good to me. So let me tell someone else about it to alleviate my own discomfort. Oh, did you hear? So-and-so of a thing happened. Oh, did you hear? The president of this country did that thing. We have this impulse to share the news because it's built off of a ancient operating system in human beings where if there's danger, we want to tell everyone as quickly as possible. The issue here is that the social media and news outlets are hijacking our brain and feeding us that fear without credible information. So in the olden days, it would be, hey, I saw this wolf in the woods. We should watch out, everyone in the village. Okay, well, we believe you. You have no reason to lie to us about that wolf. Well, unless you're the boy who cried wolf. But for the most part, most people aren't going to lie about something like that. And when someone does lie about something like that, well, you read the story, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and you'll see what happens. But in today's day and age, we read the news. It's based off of fabricated information or just bots saying whatever they want that's propaganda that's not even anything to do with reality, but it's just trying to paint a fearful narrative in your mind. Maybe it's, this is why people are always talking about, oh, the bots are rigging the elections, right? Because other countries will pay millions, if not billions of dollars, probably not billions, but hundreds of millions of dollars maybe, to implant these ideas in your mind that, let's say, your country is bad, or this president is bad, or that president is bad. And then you think, oh, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Well, nothing wrong with me. So what do? I tell someone else about it. I don't want to have that in my body. I don't want to have that negative feeling, self-defeating, self-negative feeling for me. And you can't return to sender because you don't know who sent it. So it's a very stupid, sad, immature, I don't even know what the word you use to describe that system is, but just got to keep that in mind. Nothing you read is true. Most of it is designed to make you feel scared, not happy. How much of the time do you read news that says, this beautiful and amazing thing happened with humanity and you should share it with everyone? There's no benefit to corporations. There's no benefit to billionaires. There's no benefit to the powerful elite. If you want to, I loathe to use those kinds of phrases because I don't think that that's the problem. A lot of people like to blame the billionaires. I love Bernie Sanders, by the way, but like that's not the main issue here. It's actually just a human issue. There's no one individual who is responsible for the situation. It's such a collective issue that we all need to have conversations and keep having conversations about until it becomes the more predominant mindset. Hey, wait a minute. We don't need this crap. Get that out of here. That's kind of how we need to approach this. And it's hard because we're all engrossed in the system. That's why it's so hard to change, is because if you step out to be the one to change, well, you're going to be punished for that, financially or medically or otherwise. You're going to get hurt, sick, and then no one's going to help you unless you come back to the system. You can't exist out there on your own. So we all have to be able to say, hey, you know what? We're all capable. We're all good. We're all powerful. We're all strong, lovely, wonderful, beautiful people. And Just make that the predominant mindset and paradigm. But we can't do it by force, is the thing. So it just has to be it has been a very slow progress, slow process of awareness, coming to awareness of who we really are, which has nothing to do with petty squabbling in politics. It's not about that. But it's important that we take care of, and this is kind of getting just such a meandering talk as they always are, but it's important that we take care of people's basic needs first. You can't have good feelings and positive feelings without taking care of your basic needs. Food, water, shelter, safety. All right? War needs to end. It's going to end. I'm 1000% convinced war is over. This is pivotal. It is a complete paradigm shift from what we have done in the past. War is over. Conflicts will all be resolved in a more mature way, in a more peaceful, more humane, and more harmonious way. There may not be any possibility of accounting for everything that's happened in the past. The fridge just went on. It's very loud. So I'm going to have to continue this another time. So, thank you, and I'll see you next time.